This video is for Stony Point High School Geometry Unit 1A Quiz 1 corrections. This is the third video over angle addition with equations. So here's a picture. What I notice in the picture is that I have a right angle symbol, so I know that is 90 degrees. And based on the idea of linear pair, meaning two angles that share a ray and their other rays create a straight angle or line, I know that they both add up to 180 degrees. So 90 plus 90 is 180. Same with the other side. Two angles of 90 add up to 180. I also know that vertical angles, angles that are opposite of each other, are equal, which means their measurements are equal. So that means that this angle that they gave me of 90 and its opposite angle, which is this piece right here, would have equal measurements, so that would be 90 degrees. From here, I notice that this purple angle, which I just figured out is 90 degrees based on vertical angles, has two separations. So angle addition literally means I'm just going to add one angle to another to get a bigger third angle. So in this case, I have one that's represented by the expression 3x plus 10, and then the other smaller angle of 20 degrees, and that should give me the bigger angle of 90. So this is angle addition based on which I've created an equation, which then I would want to solve. So the parentheses are just to kind of keep that degree symbol to everything, but in algebra we really don't need that degree symbol, so I'm just going to drop it and deal with numbers. Then I know that I need to combine like terms, so I get 3x plus 30 equal to 90. Then I'm going to use inverse operations to solve for x. And so inverse operations of addition is subtraction, or vice versa, and multiplication is division. You typically want to do inverse operations of addition and subtraction first, and then multiplication and division second. So I have the operation of plus, its inverse operation is minus. So what I do to one side, I do to the other. This creates a positive 30, negative 30 creates 0, which is called a zero pair. A lot of times we just say they cancel out, leaving me on the left side with 3x. On the right side, 90 minus 30 is 60. So now 3x is literally saying 3 times x, and the inverse of multiplication or times is division. What I do to one side, I do to the other, and what I'm trying to get rid of is that 3. 3 divided by 3 gives you the number of 1. A lot of times, again, we say it cancels out, but really it divides out to 1x, or just x. And then 60 divided by 3 is 20. So in this problem, if they asked me to solve for x, I would say x is 20 degrees. Sometimes they actually ask you to go find the measure of the angle. And so in that case, you would actually plug it in, the x value you found. So we'd say 3 times 20 is 60, and 60 plus 10 is 70 degrees. Now in this case, you could have figured that out because you knew that these two angles added up to 90, and you already had the 20. Well, 70 plus 20 is 90. Here's another example with angles and equations. What I see here, you should recognize that these are opposite angles or mirror images of each other, which means that in geometry we call these vertical angles. And vertical angles are congruent, which means that their measurements are equal. So the equation I could say is 2x is equal to 10x plus 16. And then I can solve from there. So with, again, inverse operations, I like to get rid of plus and minus first. If I subtracted 16, I don't really have anything on the left side to combine it with. So instead of getting rid of 16, I'm actually going to get rid of this 10x. And even though there's no symbol in front, I do know that that's a positive 10. So the opposite of plus is minus. What I do to one side, I do to the other. 2x minus 10x is a negative 8x. And then I'm left with that positive 16. Negative 8x is the same thing as negative 8 times x. The opposite of times or multiplication is division. What I'm trying to get rid of is that negative 8, so that's what I'm going to divide by. Negative 8 divided by negative 8 is 1, so it leaves me with 1x, and 16 divided by 8 is negative 2. Now, again, it may just ask you for what x is, which then that would be your solution. Sometimes it will ask you for the measurement of those angles. Because vertical angles are congruent, it shouldn't matter which one I plug it into, so I'll do it to both to show you that they are actually congruent. This is a great way to check your answer. So I figured out x to be negative 2. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. If I did it on the other side, 10 times negative 2 is negative 20, and negative 20 plus 16 is negative 4. So I do get the same answer. Now I will say angles are not supposed to have negative numbers as measurements. I created this problem on the top of my head. So it's not a great example as measurements of angles of that negative 4, but no matter what, the actual setup and solving would be algebraically correct. Hope this helped.